Headshot.
This is our fight.
First blood. Headshot. 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 Headshot.
Terrorists win. Go, go, go!
First blood. Headshot. Dominating! Headshot.
Terrorists win. Let's go.
First blood. Headshot. Headshot. Dominating!
Terrorists win. Lock and load.
Headshot. Dominating! Headshot. Headshot.
Terrorists win. We must win.
First blood. Headshot. Headshot. Rampage. Headshot.
Win. We will make them regret this day.
First headshot. Headshot.
Terrorists win. Forward!
Headshot. 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 Headshot.
Come on, let's go!
First blood. Rampage. Killing spree.
Let's go, my brothers!
First headshot. Rampage. Dominating. Headshot. Headshot. Headshot.
Right now is how much they're just having fun playing this game. Like, they're just, half the games, they're just laughing and sort of giggling to each other. And that is, I mean, that can be hard to shut down, right? That means they have a pretty big buffer of, you know, even if they lose a couple of rounds, they still seem to be doing all right. That's probably partly due to Zeus playing in the game. Like, that does take a lot of stress out.
I mean, if JDM said in an interview, you know, our goal coming here was just to make the major, is to qualify throughout last week, and they accomplished that. And everything after here is gravy. Obviously, you'd love to be top 8. You'd love to have that auto berth into the next one, but, you know, it might not be the most realistic thing, but just take it game by game. I think it's hilarious to a degree that Zeus has actually won. Let's not forget, he won a major as a coach with Luminosity. He won a major as a coach with SK, both the same lineups, the Brazilian team. And this is the first time he's actually played in a major, but he already has 2 trophies, which is not that funny now that I say it out loud, but it, you know, it sounded funny.
Sorry, they can't all land.
Yeah.
Look, I know it's tough. It's tough doing comedy. Anyway, look, nothing funny about Na'Vi's up and down form if you're a Na'Vi fan. But they're starting to peak at the right time, and they're going to be thinking, you know, great, we've got Liquid already beaten them once in this tournament.
Honestly, when they're down, then they're really far down, and it seems like nothing is working. They can't even put players like Simple and Electronic into the game, which is obviously just a miserable thing to be watching. But when they're working, it's an unbelievably scary system to be fighting against. Zeus is one of the hardest, I think, in-game leaders to play against if you're on another team. He has such a particular style, and it's very hard to counter. And Simple and Electronic, just between those 2 players, you've got so much firepower. Yeah, I think they can go very far in this tournament, Na'Vi. I think people are underestimating them a bit. And
they absolutely butchered Big yesterday, as you can see there. And one of the guys who's sort of had an up-and-down tournament has been Electronic. Now, it was a drawn-out transfer saga to bring him from Flipside. It was talked about, you know, publicly. In the end, they finally managed to agree on a fee, got their man. And you can see, when Na'Vi are playing poorly, he's playing poorly. When Na'Vi are on fire, very often he's one of the reasons why that's happening. So what have you made of him so far, Jason?
He's a younger player, and it's obvious the skill he's got. It's all about finding comfort in this level of play as a new guy, even for someone this talented. So it's about that. It's also about, you know, you have the established stars of this team, Simple and Flamey, who've been here for some time, kind of understanding what they're going to be doing. So finding where you're going to fit in terms of that, how much room you're going to be given by the team to begin with, and then also just, I mean, feeling confident. These guys, when they give interviews, you don't even see them. They don't even seem like they're comfortable in the team. From what I'm hearing and looking at, for me, Na'Vi is basically like the story of Simple, because we know he's going to get his, and this is kind of like the counter to everyone saying, you know, Simple isn't the best player in the world, and it's not that he's like #1, but he's so incredibly good, and if this team plays better and gets the accolades, he can be the #1 player in the world. And I mean, it's all about, when you play against Na'Vi, you have to realize Simple's going to get his. If you can shut down the other guys, the Electronics, if you can shut down the Flamies, then you're going to have a very good chance at winning that, even if Simple's going off.
Yeah, and look, I think this has been one of the things that maybe hasn't been talked about so much. You know, when Simple signed that long contract with Na'Vi Anders, you know, I've been told part part of that deal, part of the agreement was you are going to go out and get Electronic. I want to play with him. Simple wants to play alongside this guy, you know, because he believes he's good enough to take some of that pressure off him.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. That was my experience too, watching him way back in like early 16 or maybe even before that. I can't remember, but it's a long time ago when he was more or less completely unknown. And I remember seeing him play, and it was like clear as day to me when I saw him. You could see in his style that this was going to be a top player.
Right. He also said that about Palf, to be fair.
Yeah, and has certainly had a few.
Just throwing darts at the board.
Yeah,
We're laughing now, but when Marco comes back in old Moses, just wait for it to happen. Just wait for that headline. We'll see.
We will. Shout out to Palf, not at the major. Overpass is the map, guys. We can take a look at the veto. And this is an interesting one. Obviously, the other one was on Inferno. Ooh. Liquid took that out. Didn't fancy a full rematch. Mirage dangled, and Na'Vi get to pick Overpass, which I'm very intrigued about. Team Liquid starting on that CT side. So, Jason, I'll start with you. Some reactions to this.
Obviously good they get a start on the CT side. I'm looking for guys like, this is where even on the